These dudes right here are Vikings, and today, I forced 100 Minecraft players against each other in a Vinland Saga civilization. Players must face off cold weather and survive ambushes from thieves, mobs, and each other in order to become the most feared Viking in the whole map. Just like in real life though, players were in hardcore. This means that if players died, they're dead. And they're trash at PvP. All 100 players were separated into 2 teams where they would have to depend on each other to survive. Now sit back, grab a mug of beer, and prepare to witness the epic legend that became of the 100 player Vinland Saga civilization. This legend started off with players spawning in a huge village in the corner of a map. The village had a mine, a dock, and a huge wheat field that could feed the whole map. My players are fat though because they took it all in less than a minute. Like, I didn't even get a chance to see where it went. As the players spawned though, they began to branch out and explore the rest of the map. If the players were lucky though, they could even find a few hidden chests with decent starting loot. One of the first people that ran away to the mountains was a guy named Tong, who ran away due to his bad PvP skills and his fear of large crowds. And let me tell you, this guy actually didn't have it that bad. He had a house underground, which was actually his mine, some wood, some ores. He had it going pretty well.
Oh, I wish I found a lover that could hold me. Now I'm crying in my room, so skeptical. Instead I wanted more.
I'ma need him to stop singing. As he was going up the mountains, he actually found some of the hidden loot within a chest.
Like other good shit now. He's got a mustache.
With this new loot, he decided to go check the upper part of the mountain, but it didn't end very well.
Oh no, there's a creepy. Oh.
Yeah, that was embarrassing. Back in the village, if players decided to mine down and get ahead of everybody else, they would soon find out that the land under them was filled to the brim with valuable ores and resources that could make them tools and armor. You see, in the past video, I decided to call out people with weird usernames or skins, and I am distraught to say that I have to do this again. A player by the name of Big Hairy Boy was one of the most outlandish names I had seen yet. Big Hairy Boy was actually one of the first people to get on the grind too, and he decided to walk into the mine and start getting resources. As he began to look around with his other Viking brothers, he started to mine out iron and steel. Although a large number of our Vikings decided to hang around at the village, it didn't mean that the village was safe. At night, many mobs would target unsuspecting players, and if they weren't geared up, that's on them, because I did not do anything to help them out. After a few minutes, players began to realize they weren't the only people in the village. Vikings from other clans had also settled in the village, and they were rather peaceful. Once players began to kill them though, they realized that these Vikings dropped their heads. Now. I know what you might be thinking. What the hell is some random Viking gonna do with the rando's head other than make a protein shake? Well, you see, I forgot to tell you guys a very important detail. If players explored the village, they could find 2 legendary Vikings, Thorfinn and Thorkel the Tall. These Vikings would offer to trade heads for armors and weapons, and if you decided to trade with Thorfinn, he would also give you a little piece of advice. Players realized that the more they massacred these Vikings, the more powerful they would be compared to the rest of the players. So without a second thought, many decided to begin farming for their heads. While some players were getting their money up, a player called Noth had a different thought in his mind. So he stopped, sat me and some friends down, and he decided to give us a lesson about Norse mythology.
My skin right now is Baldur, and in the Norse mythology, when Baldur dies, Ragnarok starts, okay? And this is a Viking, you know what I'm saying? So here's what I'm thinking. I become Baldur, right? And then I just do whatever, I go around, and then when I die...
And I can proudly say, I retained 0 information. After a good amount of chaos though, players had settled down and they began to make groups of their own. This is when they decided to host an election, where they would be able to choose their clan's new chief. The blue team decided to go first, and they volunteered 4 brave Vikings to lead them. Noth, Agent Gunny, Firelord, and Zanes.
I don't want to be anyone's enemy, and we're going to destroy everything in our path, okay? Ragnarok's gonna start, I'm gonna kill everyone, everything. We're gonna be on top forever.
He was my first demon. Look how ripped I am.
Oh my god, he's so strong.
Oh wait, hold on, I forgot to take my shirt off. Let me just... It's off.
What about your pants?
Look how ripped I am. I am strong.
Everybody pretty much had a normal speech. And then there's this guy.
My goal, my one and only goal, is to reform Texas. Now, a little bit of history about Texas. I don't know if y'all know, but we actually revolted against Mexico and soloed them. We beat a whole country at the Alamo. So, if you elect me, we are going to build the Alamo, a fortress in Solo, Mexico. And you see this in my hand right here? We will be strapped. Anyone who tries to invade the Alamo will feel the wrath of Texas.
Zanes was a true American. He wanted to build Texas as a Viking. And you know what? It made no sense, I will not lie to you. But I did not ask questions because the crowd loved it. The whole blue chat cheered Zane's name, and he became the blue team's chief, formally calling himself the Texans, with their only goal of building the Alamo. Red team's election was next, and it was between Milk Guy Sensei and the Anthill Civilization's leader, Eopoker.
Anyway, reason you should vote for me. I am rich. Look at this. Look at this. I also I got a base. People live there. It's very nice. Very cozy. You should visit sometime.
Why do you want to be leader of your clan?
Well, I really have no good reason.
Oh.
See, he doesn't
But-
have a reason.
If you guys make me leader, if a red person wins the event, I'll give them night prayer.
Both speeches were a hot pile of trash, but Eopoker didn't really care because he already had it in the bag. In simple words, this was just him formally being recognized as the red team's leader. They decided to name themselves the Ballers as they traveled to the mountainside, making a base within the mountains. Now that both teams had elected their leaders, they all separated their ways to go build their village. The Texans were extremely organized since they only had the Alamo in their mind. Throughout the whole time, Zane kept yapping and yapping to get his Vikings to start mining materials to build his wall.
Oakram, can we get some building materials? 15 minutes is not a long time.
I got a bunch of cobble if you want some.
What the freak am I gonna do with this? Out of all the blocks, you give me warp nelium?
25.
Build walls, build walls. Here, this is gonna be the entrance right here.
Can
Alright, I need some of y'all to start go
one.
mining for the team. We don't have any
Hold
gear
up.
right now. So some of y'all need to go get down in the mines.
Although it was a little chaotic when they first started, they managed to settle down and start working. Eopoker and the Ballers were 10 times more efficient though. In the time it took the Texans to start building their wall, they had already built the whole entrance to their base. They had a whole staircase, a room inside the mountain, and a mine. Eopoker wanted his team to work immediately, and in the time they were getting materials, Eopoker managed to get armor for himself and all his teammates. As nighttime approached, both teams had let their guards down. This was a huge mistake. Huge groups of thieves along with their pet bear had begun to raid both teams, and if they wanted to stay alive, they would need to fight and kill them. Due to the Alamo's high walls, the Texans had a near impenetrable defense. They just had to find a way to kill them off. Ironically, the Texans had trash aim when it came to using the catapults, causing them to have quite a bit of trouble killing the thieves.
They're storming the Alamo! Oh my god! I don't know, we can't really do anything.
We have one cross.
Isn't that bad? What the fuck?
This is not good.
Wait, the catapult.
They're storming the
Hold
Alamo!
it.
I don't know how to load this thing though.
Okay,
Look at his
okay.
chest.
Shoot him with the ballista!
Wait, what are these things?
Fire!
That look like
Fire!
There is
Fire!
just a lot of things in front of him.
Is it working? That was, you overshot
That's going
that
forward.
by a
It's going
mile,
forward. It's
son.
going forward.
But once one of them found out how to use a cannon, they were successfully able to wipe them all out.
It's been blown.
Hey, I'm gonna break down this section.
I got aim too low. Oh, I got him.
Oh, he did it!
Yes, I did it.
Oh my
Yes, I
god!
I can move it. I can move with this. I can move with this too.
Keep going, keep going!
You can't go too fast. You can't go too
Like
far.
Back in the Ballers base, they had set up a small wall to block off the thieves. Although their defense was not as good as the Alamo's, their offense was way better. While fighting the thieves, one of the players had a genius idea. They decided to climb up the mountain and pour lava down the mountain, so that when it would fall down, it would burn the thieves in the process. Once the players had killed the thieves, all that was left was the bears, and they were huge. Although the Ballers euthanized and skinned the bear alive without any issues, the Alamo had problems with the bear.
No, but it deals 3 hearts to me. 3 hearts to me.
3 hearts to you. Okay. Oh, yeah, it's fine then. I have a weapon that does 9 points.
Oh shit. Yeah, I have. Kill this thing.
Keep the
It's
bear away
dead.
from me.
But once the sun began to rise, both teams were successful in fending off the attack. They were all one step closer to becoming the deadliest Viking in the whole server. Quick interruption, by the way. This man Adrienss has clowned me for way too long,
Your content is trash, bruh. That's just garbage.
and I need to prove this guy wrong now. So please make sure to subscribe, like, and comment down below so I can shut his little mouth up. And if you want to join these events, please make sure to join the Discord down below. Now, back to the video. After the raid, both teams felt super powerful, but nobody felt as powerful as Noth. Noth had let this victory get into his head, and it began to corrupt him. Without the others knowing, Noth began to gather materials so that when the time was right, he could betray and eliminate his team. As the teams progressed, players continued to build their massive bases, or so I thought. The moment I checked with Zane, it all went downhill.
So as you can see, the property value is lowered by the landscape we got going around here. It's seen better days. So this is the entrance. This is a fake ladder that doesn't work. You see right here. Oh, yeah, are you serious, Oakram? You gave me silver fucking stone. Oh my! Oh my God! I fell in the hole with Armin.
Silverfish.
They're ganging me! Help! Help!
Wait,
Oh my God! This is the stone Oakram gave me. What the?
It's over. It's over.
I'm still here. Now we got a rat problem. That's gonna lower the property value. Oh, and there's lava dripping down from the very top. Oakram, I think you should hurry up and judge it now before this place is in shambles.
And just when I thought it couldn't get any worse, Red quite literally had no base because someone had blown it up. Alright, hey.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Hey, what happened to
Yo.
your original base?
You turned us into Syria, my good brother. You turned us into Syria. We're deciding to build a new base. Come back in 5 to 10 business days.
Who exactly had blown it up though? Well, surprisingly enough, it wasn't the Texans. Lurking in the shadows, a small group had begun to form, and they called themselves the Milky Militia, led by no other than Milky Guy Sensei. After Milky Guy Sensei had lost the elections to Eopoker, he began to develop a certain dislike for him. Milky was just extremely salty that he had lost the elections, so instead of hanging out with his own team, he decided to chill with the Texans. This is where he met Reaper. Reaper also hated Eopoker's guts, and together, they had decided to form a militia, free from Eopoker's reign. As they wandered around the map, their militia began to grow, and as they were looting the main village, they found a small amount of TNT. And once it was in their grasp, they used it to sabotage the ballers and blow their base up. Eopoker didn't know it was the militia though. He had placed the blame on the Texans. The Milk Militia wasn't the only group that had been formed though. On the opposite side of the map, a new small group of players had made their existence public. The white team consisted of Gordon, Dexus, Flaganoid, Search4, and a few others. They had actually taken Thorfinn's advice, and they decided to live separate from everybody else. They weren't really interested in battle, they simply wished to live in peace without any enemies. Although their group was small, their existence swiftly gained massive influence. Whichever clan ended up allying with them could have enough people to overpower the other clan. With rumors about war becoming more common, Thorkel began to get a little bit excited. Once he spotted the red team, he immediately began to attack them, and this dude was strong.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
Oh, dodge!
No, that motherfucker.
Back up, guys! Don't risk it, Big Butt. Big Butt, do not risk it. Do not risk it.
Fuck.
Idiots!
I got one cut by him.
Oh yeah, I have to just kill this guy on my own. Jesus Christ, guys! My entire team just like, oh, again I'm gonna go chase the blue guy down. No, I hit him.
Shit.
I don't have enough
We just gotta keep
That
psyching.
actually does way too much damage.
Red was taking heavy casualties, but somehow they managed to get the upper hand. Thorkel was defeated, and now the only enemy that Red had left was the blue team, also known as the Texans. By the final hour, everything was going downhill. The main village that the players had spawned in had been abandoned, and the ballers saw this as a perfect opportunity to go and destroy it. Once they arrived, those with flint and steel began to set the village in flames, and once they were done, they simply left, leaving behind the ruins of what the village used to be. Put it simply, chaos was overcoming the whole server. Many had become bloodthirsty, and whenever they saw a stray person from the opposite team, they wouldn't hesitate to kill them. Numbers were slowly being chipped away from each side. Zanes was slowly becoming paranoid. He knew that the server was on the verge of war. So he rallied up his people, geared them up, and warned them about the upcoming disaster. They all quickly began to secure the Alamo, readying its defenses and waiting until the ballers decided to attack them. Up in the mountains, the white team also knew that war was inevitable. They understood that if they did not join a team, it would surely be game over for them. So although it went against their ideals, they put on their helmets, grabbed their weapons, and they walked down the mountain, straight into their new allies' base, the Alamo. You see, the red team had been seen messing around their new unfinished base. They were thirsty for blood. They needed war, and they needed it now. As war was coming and both Texas and the ballers got ready, Zanes delivered a powerful speech to raise morale and motivate his team.
No, y'all just stay right there. Alright,
That's quite rude of
leave.
you, man. That was really rude,
listen
man.
up. We have been Texans through and through this event. We built the Alamo, it burnt down, that's historically accurate. But you know what's also historically accurate? Texas winning the war! Beating Mexico! And becoming a sovereign country! This is our last stand, boys! And we will hold the line! Now who's with me? Yeah!
Earpoker also tried doing the same, but it really didn't go so well.
Let's shut up, Ollie. Ollie, just shut the fuck up for 2 seconds.
Yeah, give us the table around.
Okay, shut up, Sword to Die. Sword to Die, shut up. I'm trying to give a speech. I'm gonna. So basically, I'm proud of Ollie.
Yeah, that was it. And without a warning, the Battle of the Alamo had begun. As the Milky Militia stayed behind, the Ballers rushed into the Alamo, but the Alamo fired back with cannons and catapults, and as Zanes began to descend, his team followed. As Earpoker was hiding behind the mammoths, Zanes took his shot. Although the battle had just begun, Earpoker was slain by Zanes, and Red Team now had no leader. Blue was just too powerful. They overpowered what was left of the Red Team, and they began to massacre them. Without a leader, the Ballers retreated. Those who had survived met up with the Milky Militia, and they decided to join them. But once the Texans were done wiping the main battleground, they began to search for the rest of the Red Team, and this didn't take very long. The Texans had found out where the Milky Militia was, and they immediately attacked. Oh my god!
I'm about to die. I have like 10 people on me.
No guy's dead!
Milk's dead!
No!
Milky's dead! Come here, boy!
And in only a few matter of minutes, the Milky Militia had been exterminated. The Red Team was on the verge of losing. There's actually no other way to put it, the Red Team was actually in shambles. Most of the ones that survived the initial attacks had scurried off. Everybody was separated and scattered across the map. Some people took refuge in the abandoned village, and some in the snow, but nobody was safe. Blue just had too many numbers. This is all true until Noth finally took action. Noth looked into his team's eyes and simply told them the truth.
Listen.
Hold on. But before you even say anything, Noth, I want you to know right now that the color of your name tag means nothing to me. You were there since the very beginning of the Alamo.
I believe it's time. You see, me and you, we're not mortals. We're not Vikings. We're gods. We're kings. My true name is Balder,
Oh,
god of light, and
wait,
of my
like,
death.
what? What's your name?
Listen,
Balder?
Yes.
Like you're bald, like no hair?
I clearly have hair, but I mean,
That's a
anyway.
kind of a stupid.
Many years ago, you fought a war that you did not win, and as such, you were cast down to mortality. I've spent years, decades, thousands of years, trying to reconnect with you, trying to get you back to your heritage, and finally, I've managed to do that. I joined your army, I let you become the chief, I let you grow an army. Look at them. But now it's time to send you back home, to Valhalla. But the only way to do that is me and you must kill each and every one of them.
Oh, fun!
So you're telling me I'm a god
Yes.
amongst men?
Yes.
I knew it! I knew I was better than all y'all!
But here's the thing, their deaths won't be in vain. They'll be sent to Valhalla to fight with you forever. You accept my offer, Zane? God of war.
Let me talk to my army. Let me talk to my army.
Although Zanes went to go talk to his team, they all knew his ego was too big. He still wanted more power, and that's exactly what he said.
I fought with y'all through thick and thin. But
I think we're about to
I've just been told that I am a
back
god.
on blue.
So
I think we should run.
I do have a very big ego. I think I made this clear from the start. So it might turn out that y'all all have to die and go to Valhalla. But I'm sure it's nice. I'm sure y'all will be eating good, and they got like a McDonald's or something.
It's like Texas. It's like Texas.
It's like
in
Texas.
heaven.
Back down from this fight.
It's like Texas in heaven.
We stand our ground, no matter
I'm sorry, boys. It's gonna have to be like this.
Noth had successfully convinced Zanes to betray his team and kill them off. Although it was only 2 people, Blue was losing heavy numbers due to the 2 self-proclaimed gods.
Oh, well, there goes the guy.
Once Noth died, Zanes had to run and heal up. He was all alone, and he couldn't shake off his former teammates.
How's God?
Guys, I was just kidding before. I was so protected.
with them.
You're dead.
What the hell is that?
Come here, boy. Come here. Guys, I was just kidding before. I was just kidding before. I didn't really think I was a god.
Don't think back. Don't
Of
think
course
back.
not.
Of course, after you start dying. But
Frank Jonas had killed Zanes, and now the blue team had no leader. This was a huge problem for the Texans. Their leader, the one they had depended on this whole time, had betrayed them and died. This is when Swords to Die decided to attack. You see, Swords had gathered up the rest of the team, and they decided to launch their final attack. If they were to fail, the red team would lose. This sneak attack was devastating. Blue started receiving heavy casualties left and right, but so was red.
okay.
Nice.
Oh, I didn't realize he
You wanna go?
Oh god, he has.
Wait, let's pick off
Nice.
the easy guy.
Not okay.
That seems rude. Oh, that seems rude.
What's my team doing? Help! Don't let me die!
Let's go. I killed him with my knife.
Ah. Right. Oh yeah.
Get him, boys. Get him, boys.
Due to Frank Jonas's insane PvP skills, he quickly became the red team's main target.
Did you heal him?
Run.
I need my shield. Yeah. The God killer. Yeah. 2v1. You don't stand.
Once they took them down, the red team ran off. Only Swords to Die and Milo were left, and they needed to regroup and heal. Blue wouldn't allow this though. If they killed them off, blue team would win. The moment Swords ran away, they followed. And as they ran and the battle still continued, the border began to close. Red team was losing space to run. Once the border had stopped closing, only 2 members survived on each team. Swords to Die, Milo, Crippy, and Gordon. Swords to Die and Milo had decided to target one enemy at a time, and their teamwork was impeccable.
We have
Kill
Udon
Gordon.
Swords, bro.
Aha! I'm outside the board and never mind. It's
Wait.
still there, man.
Gordon had fallen to Milo, and Crippy was the only blue Viking left.
Wait, is Russian not taking the damage? Oh gosh. 2v1 is really hard.
Please don't run in the water. We can't kill you with that.
Although he fought long and
No,
hard,
it's fine.
Milo had
Yeah,
ultimately
we did it,
slain Crippy.
Milo! We win!
In the end, only 2 red Vikings stood tall, both former baller members. They took on all their opponents and had become the deadliest Vikings in the whole server. This is how the epic legend of the Vinland Saga civilization came to an end. If you're seeing this right now, I'm forcing you to go watch my other videos, unless you've already seen them.